Hello and welcome to Geek Addicts, the pop culture podcast where we hire somebody for a job and then set them on fire as soon as it's done. My name is Matt, and with me, Bill. How's it going, Bill?
It's good. It's a real disco inferno. I'm gonna
Yeah.
make that joke multiple times throughout this episode. Um, oh, it's going great. It's been one of those weeks where I'm just exhausted the entire week, and yeah, fun
Yeah,
stuff.
I feel that, man. I actually I started going in early again this week after like a month, and it went fine for the first couple days, and then the third day, my body just wouldn't let me wake up, so I ended up going in at the normal time that day. So I don't know, whatever. I still got my OT in, so it's whatever.
Yeah. Nah, I think it's that we're still in that weird transfer period where like we're getting into spring, but it's still like really cold in the mornings, and it's like not exactly fully over. Because I swear, getting up in the winter is the worst. Like I hate getting up in the cold.
Hmm. Yeah, it's always bad for me because I don't know how it always ends up happening this way, but like throughout my entire life, I've always ended up in like that room where it's the coldest room in the winter and the hottest room in the summer. I don't know how it keeps happening. No matter where I live, it always every time.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm in like the first time like everywhere I actually have like full control of all the temperatures in my home. So
Yeah. Well, I've been in your house, and like
heat
I don't know.
rising.
There's like I mean, obviously heat rises, yeah, but like it was like I've never been in a house where it's like a like you're conscious about the difference. Like, oh, the higher I get, the like hotter. Like I like when we were over. It was what, December when we came by,
Yeah.
and when I was upstairs, I was in a t-shirt, like because I couldn't wear my sweatshirt. But if I was downstairs, I had to wear like my sweatshirt and my jacket.
Yeah,
Like you know.
I still don't understand that exactly why it's like that. I'm guessing because it's like more condensed spaces up there and it's like heat gets trapped easier. I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, kind of think of it because the room in particular I was thinking of was your gaming room, and I guess like you got like the extra insulation from all the shelves, essentially.
Shelves and that's a very full room. Like
Exactly. So like, I mean, even just being in there for like 10 minutes, with all the carbon dioxide from breathing out and whatnot.
yeah.
Breathing, that stupid thing we do.
Yeah,
Um,
you know. But
a good
yeah.
thing did happen to me this week, though.
Oh yeah.
Um, surprise, surprise, my Switch popped up.
Oh,
So it
that's
turns out it wasn't stolen after all.
that's good. Where was it?
It was I can't even begin to explain it. It was in a place that I swear to God, dude, like we have pulled out, cleaned out, reorganized multiple times. Like we've looked in this spot so many times. Like moved everything out, pulled everything out, fucking shuffled things around. I don't know how the fuck it popped up this time, but it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I have a Switch again, so that's good.
Nice. Well, you got all those games again. That's good.
Yeah, which it was really upsetting though, like when it was gone, because I was like, holy shit, like I'm pretty sure like the most games I have for any one system is easily the Switch, just because it was so easy to accumulate like digital sales and shit like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm really glad, and now I can actually I can actually put BioShock back on the list because I still haven't played it, and I have the 3 BioShock games on there. So
Hmm.
something I'm gonna have to do at some point. Speaking of gaming, though, I did. I wanted to have it done by the time we did this episode, but I'm pretty far into Symphony of the Night.
Nice. I still got to start playing that for reasons. Stay tuned. Anyways,
um, but yeah, that's going well. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm more than halfway done, I believe, with the reverse castle. So
oh yeah, my favorite part of that game where you finish the first castle, and then another castle appears from the sky, and you play it
it's
again,
literally the same
but
castle, just
upside
upside
down.
down.
Oh
So you literally have to go and explore the exact same castle, but in reverse.
yeah, I love Symphony of the Night, but I will say that I don't love that. Like that is not my favorite part of that game.
Well, see, it's not even the fact that like there's like a whole second castle that you have to explore. It's the fact that the difficulty spike when you get to that second castle is fucking outrageous.
I just think it's
Like
kind of weird.
I was ruining the first castle by the time I got to the end of it. Like nothing was touching me, and then I came across like the first couple of like random mobs in the second castle, and I just got completely mollywopped.
Yeah. um, there are certain ways to break that game in half. Like I've
Oh,
messed around with.
I already got the Crusagram, so
Oh
I'm
yeah.
good.
Did you get two? Did you get two of them?
No, I only got the one. Is there like a stat bonus to having two, or
No, it's
is
just
it?
something that you can do.
Oh no, I like having the I like having the. Well, I mean, I guess at this point it doesn't really matter, but I do like having the chakram equipped for the secondary weapon because it gives you that extra range.
See
But
if
I
you
mean, I
play the
guess with the Crusagram it doesn't really matter because that has ridiculous range and you
Crusagram
get
is
like 3 or 4
stupid.
hits off of each one. Like it's crazy.
The Crusagram combined with the sword familiar is just fucking stupid, like fun. I love that shit.
I haven't even gotten the sword familiar yet. Well,
Um,
is that's in the second castle, right? Or is that the only relic that I missed in the first one?
it might be the only relic because I had him in the first castle.
Son of a bitch.
Um, that
Oh,
being
you
said,
know what? Come to think of it, actually, I probably would be done with the game, but I seriously fucked up last weekend, man. I
oh yeah,
seriously fucked up. Yeah, because I've been playing on my Embernick, and one thing that's been fairly consistent across the board when I play with that is in-game saves don't generally tend to work, or at least like sometimes they'll work, but it's not consistent at all.
hmm.
And so I've been using save states for all the games I play on it. Um, and I got to a particular boss, and I had to like save scum it to
Gotcha.
get through the boss. Um, Only thing is, I didn't plan a backup save, and I didn't realize until after I beat him and the credits started rolling. I was like, "Shit, this was the optional ending." So I ended up
Oh
having to
yeah.
fucking retread. Like I had another save, but it was from like way. I didn't even have to double jump. Like so I had to fucking redo pretty much the whole fucking castle over again. And and you know what really fucking like grinded my gears after the fact
What?
is after I went through that whole fucking process, I realized I could have just used a library card to get out of
Yeah.
that boss battle.
Yes.
So I double fucked up because I got rid of that save too. So yeah. So I would be done with it if that hadn't happened.
I'm actually thinking about when I play that game. This next one, I'm gonna play the Saturn version because the Saturn version is slightly different.
Is it? Oh yeah, I
It,
heard that there was some items or some relics that aren't
there's
in
diff
one version over the other.
there's different items. There's a couple bonus areas. You can play as Maria from the start, and she is like
Oh,
ridiculous. She's kind of ridiculous. And you get a third hand. Don't question it, but you get a third hand. Don't
uh,
ask don't ask where a third hand is, but you get a third hand.
okay.
It's very useful.
Well, I kind of which version is this? The Dreamcast version?
Sega Saturn.
Sega Saturn. Gotcha. Oh, I
There's
kind of
there's
wish I'd done that.
it's kind of notoriously hard to emulate, and it's actually technically an inferior version of the game for reasons, but it has a lot of
Oh.
interesting stuff. There's actually three versions of Symphony of the Night. There's the PlayStation original, there's the PlayStation original that most of the re-releases are based off of. There's the Saturn version, and then there's the PSP version, which was part of the Dracula X Chronicles.
Oh, I
And
wasn't aware that
that
there was a PSP version.
so there's a Castlevania the Dracula X Chronicles. It's a remake of Rondo of Blood, which is the prequel to Symphony of the Night.
I
Um,
thought Bloodlines was the prequel.
no, Bloodlines is complete. Well, they're all connected, but Bloodlines is that is the prequel to Portrait of Ruin.
Oh, because I thought when the game started, it said like, oh, like the beginning or like the end of Bloodlines. It showed at the
Oh
beginning when you're.
no, no, that's a translation fuck up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
you
I'm
can't.
glad I know that because I was gonna play Bloodlines later.
Yeah,
Not,
you would have been very confused.
yeah,
No, but that's supposed to be Rondo of Blood. That's just a translation fuck up because the translation in Symphony of the Night is horrendous
gotcha.
in the best way possible because that voice acting is amazing.
I wasn't expecting voice acting. I was pleasantly surprised by that.
I, anything Richter says is is great, or Dracula. Like, what is a man? Just a miserable pile of secrets.
It's just fucking ridiculous.
It's so stupid, but I love it.
Hmm. But no,
Oh,
I've been enjoying my time with it. It's been a fun game.
fun fact: Richter's voice actor is the same voice actor as Chris from Resident Evil, the original Resident Evil.
See, I dabbled with 4 like years ago when it was like the current game, but that's the only experience I have with Resident Evil. That's another game series on my list that I need to get to.
See,
Um,
you don't have to play Resident Evil 1. You just have to look up the cutscenes because the cutscenes are the only thing worth revisiting in the first game because it's a fucking comedy. The voice acting
gotcha.
is so horrendously bad. But yeah,
Oh, and the
game.
other plus side of having my Switch again is I can get the fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days collection, which I was
Right,
really looking forward to, and then I was really bummed out when I didn't have my Switch because it's not releasing for anything else.
gotcha. Actually, that actually is good too because then we can actually have more content too for gaming stuff.
For sure.
Gaming for me, I haven't really done much because I've been just extremely tired this week. Um, I haven't done a lot of anime watching either. I've only really kept up with my ongoings.
Hmm.
Um, no, my happy marriage this week. It annoyed me because like it just started getting interesting again.
Oh, they didn't release an episode? I didn't even I kept forgetting to look. So
It got delayed. It's coming out next Monday.
oh, okay.
Um,
Are they doing a double like they did with solo leveling, or are they just
no,
saying no, you get one?
you get one, and there's no guarantee 13 is going to be right after it either. Um,
All right, because the next episode is 12, right?
yep, 12 is Monday, and then 13 is still TBD. So
Well, I mean, either way, it's only one more episode after Monday, so whatever.
yeah. I
Not the biggest deal.
finished Sakamoto Days, so that is now officially done.
That's probably gonna be one of my next ones because I'm officially 12 episodes away from being caught up with My Hero. So
Nice.
getting very, very close.
Yeah. Yeah, Sakamoto Days is done. GNC fans, it might be the next anime swap. Just keep that in mind. Hint, hint. Um, Solo leveling continues to drive me insane with those fucking cliffhangers.
Well, at this point, you're ahead of it, aren't you?
Well, I know what happens now in the manga, but there's still like it's still so I had called like when I was talking to Alex when I started reading it. Um, I'd flat out told her I'm like I know where the next 2 cliffhangers are going to be because they're exactly the fucked up shit this anime would do.
Hmm. Yeah,
So what?
I also started reading it.
Yeah. So spoiler warning for solo leveling for anyone who hasn't looked into that. The most recent episode legit ends with like this one character getting decapitated, and it's supposed to be a big shock. And I was just sitting there going like, I called it because that scene was so fucking dark in in the manhwa.
I'm trying to remember which. Oh wait, yeah, yep, yeah, on Jeju Island, yeah.
Yeah, the one of the Japanese hunters that we don't really care about because we've only known them for like 2 episodes.
Which like yeah, when friggin' when they were going through that whole like first of all that last episode, shit went fast in that episode. Like I wasn't expecting like to start the episode and like oh we're gonna watch all these S ranks spar with each other, and
Yeah.
then by the end of the episode they're already doing the Jeju Island shit. Like I wasn't expecting it to go that quickly.
To be fair though, the manhwa is just as quick.
Well, I've been noticing that as I've been reading it.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
very
still
fast pace.
only he still only just met the smelly girl, the girl who smells real good, and she always has the handkerchief.
Oh, Blondie, yeah. I can't
Yeah,
remember her name either. I can the only
yeah,
names I can remember are Jinwoo and Gina. That's
yeah.
really
Well,
about it.
I'm bad with names as it is, and I have I'm a little bit better with the Japanese names depending on the show. Not always, but depending on the show.
See, these are Korean
Korean
names though,
names
and this
right
throws
over
me
my
off
head.
even more. Like just remembering the names. I remember the characters all vividly. That being said,
It's
that
because like
fight,
well, it's because it's not. Don't start lighting your torches or anything. It's not. I'm not saying they all sound the same, but they all have like a similar structure to them, and that kind of confuses
well,
me.
yeah, there's like 7 people with like like surname like Park in the show, and I get them all mixed
Yeah,
up. Um, it's different naming. Not something I'm used to. I'm only weeb enough to get Japanese names. Korean stuff. This is all new to me. So,
Yeah.
but goddamn, the story is fucking addicting.
But yeah, yeah, there was the whole like fast pace of it that I wasn't expecting, and then like at the like by the time they're getting ready to start, it's like, oh, by the way, he's not going,
Yeah,
and
Jinwoo
then
just like says, "Nah, you guys are fine."
like correct me if I'm wrong, but like the B rank healer from the first episode is going, even though she retired.
Well, she's gonna be
The
part of
one arm dude is going.
they're they're
The
they're not actually going to the island. They're just gonna be guarding the mainland.
Yeah, well, I think we both know that shit's gonna go down regardless whether they go to the island or not. Um, and correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the sister's friend going?
I don't think so.
Because I feel like there was another person that was just like, there's no fucking way this person's going. They should not be going. And I don't remember who it was, but I thought it was her.
Yeah, if she is, she probably appears in like one background shot because I like don't remember her appearing at all. To be perfectly
Yeah.
honest, unless that was added for the anime or not, I don't really
I
know.
I'm not sure. Because
All
I
I know
watched it
is
last weekend, so I don't remember
yeah,
fully. But yeah, it was a wild episode.
the fucking fight between Jinwoo and the Japanese guy was pretty great because Jinwoo does
Yeah,
not give Jinwoo did not give a
yeah.
fuck.
There's one like really cool like stylistic thing that I've noticed with this show that I think is really interesting. How they handle language barriers,
Mm.
where like they'll have the people from Japan speaking Japanese, and then it'll kind of shift into English. So it's like we're understanding like without having to listen to the translator translate. It's like I don't know. I thought it was a cool like stylistic choice.
I did notice though reading the manhwa that you notice a lot of cases where Alex Lee, the voice actor for Jinwoo, he ad libs a fucking shit ton in the anime.
Oh yeah.
Like because the scene in where he gets Tusk, the guy in that one dungeon is a
Hmm.
mage. Um, in the manga, he just kind of like does his usual gag where he can't remember names, and he's just kind of like, "I'll just call you Tusk." In the anime, he goes all like, "Oh, sorry, dude," and he kind of like flubs it, like he's like sarcastic
Hmm.
about it.
Yeah.
Like it is a lot. Alex Lee really like kind of made. I think this is like probably his best role, honestly, at this point.
Well, I'm trying to think. His voice is super familiar, and I don't know if it's someone
He's
I
in
know.
he's in a shit ton of stuff, but like this is like I think his first like lead, or
Is
at
it
least
so? Did the voice actor change, or is it the same person for the first episode?
that's the same guy.
Wow. Okay.
He's got range.
So, yeah, I was gonna say he's definitely got some range.
I love though when like you hear a voice that you definitely recognize, like because Sabat, like right away you see him and you're like, look, there's Chris
Yeah, there's
Sabat playing exactly the kind of character you'd expect Chris Sabat to play.
he's got the kind of range that like Chuck Huber has, where like yeah, you can do other voices, but it's always recognizably you. Like
Chuck
there's
Chuck
no
Huber
question
has
about it.
Chuck Huber's hilarious to me because he has amazing range, but he does two voices.
Yeah.
He does Android 17 and he does Pilaf.
Well,
Like that.
it's all about his tone. That's what it really comes down to. Like,
Yeah. Because there's a character in Soul Leveling that gets in one of the other S rank like guild leaders is very obviously voiced by Johnny Young Bosch. Like
mhm.
you hear
Yeah,
that and you're like,
yeah, I noticed that in the last episode. It's like, oh yeah, I know you.
yeah, you hear that voice and you just go, uh huh,
Mhm.
there you are. Yeah, the raid goes. I will say that watching it, the raid goes about as well as expected.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as soon as Jinbu said I'm not going, I'm like, yeah, this isn't gonna go well.
So does Jin was like, nah.
It was like, well, I think we both know you're gonna end up going at some point, even if you're not going initially. So
Well,
because
I mean,
things are not gonna go well without you.
he's got his shadows hidden in all of the people.
Yeah, but are they the good shadows or are they just
Well, no, he
foot
left
soldiers?
he left the good shadows with Gina.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Um, Also, his dad needs to show up at some point. Still waiting to see what's going on with that because they just kind of like that just kind of happens. Then they just kind of wave it away. I know it doesn't get brought up again.
Yeah, fun fact, I didn't realize that was his dad the first time I watched because I must have spaced out when he said he flat out said it.
Yeah, I know. Like I had the same thing. Like I was talking about it with somebody at work the other day, and I said something like, "Oh yeah, didn't he like imply that it was Jinwoo's dad?" And then I read the part in the manhwa, and I was like, "Oh, he just blatantly says it, and that's what
Yeah.
triggers the fight between them."
I rewatched the episode like the season 2 like a week ago, and I was just like I needed more because fuck these cliffhangers. But
Mhm.
I rewatched that episode, and if I heard him say it, I was like, oh fuck, he just flat out says it. Like it's not
Yeah.
even a secret.
Like blatantly names both of his kids and his wife. It's like, oh shit, okay, we're
Yeah.
doing this now. Okay.
How did I miss that? Like,
Yeah, right. Well, you know what
um,
it is we probably did notice it, but it was like it was such a quick little thing, and then they have their fight, and then we don't see him or hear about him or have any reference to him since then. So like it just kind of other stuff was happening that drew our attention.
yeah. Trying to think other than that, like the other scene, like the fucking episode, like right before the most recent one where he like saves his mom, the fucking feels in that episode.
Hmm. Although
Well,
I'm just saying because I was watching that when I was actually doing the dishes watching that episode, and Cindy had walked in at one point. And like she heard me because I just went, oh bullshit, because like as like she pretty much wakes up, they have their whole emotional moment or whatever, and then like the next scene is her like walking home, and she's like, oh, I'll do these chores. I'm like, no way, you were just in a coma for 4 fucking years. You are not walking, let alone
magic
doing chores.
magic healing potion.
Yeah, it says cures disease, not atrophy.
Well, it actually, if you watch closely, it does actually heal every part of her body. Like, because it like fixes all like the her sunken in face. It heals the burn on her.
Yeah, I mean, she still looked pretty worn, but all right,
Magic, anime magic.
sweet sciencey magic.
Well, I think they in the manhwa they even bring it up where they're like, "There's no way she could possibly go," and then they're like, "Well, the person whose mother it is the 10th S rank Hunter Jinwoo," and they were just like, "Let her go. It's fine. Not messing with
Yeah,
her."
right. Um, Also, I don't know if you could clear this up for me. Did things happen in a different order in the anime than in the manhwa? Because I don't know. I had this weird like idea that like that he already knew going into the demon castle that the like cure all potion was part of the whole deal, and then like he didn't
Oh,
actually in the
he does.
manhwa. It was
Yeah,
like oh he doesn't get it until like halfway through.
he doesn't get the potion till later in the manhwa.
Well, I
Like
know he does. I know he doesn't get the potion until he like clears it. But I'm saying like
he
I
doesn't
thought
get
he
the
knew
recipe.
about the potion initially.
He doesn't get the recipe until later. Like in the anime, he gets it that first trip. Like in the um if on the in the manga he gets it like I think is like once he gets farther in like the after he beats the first boss.
Yeah, so it is different between the anime and the
Yeah, the anime
okay,
stream.
because I was reading that part and I'm like, I swear to God this happened earlier.
Yeah, the anime structure is a little different.
Hmm. Gotcha. But no, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm looking forward to reading more of it too. I'm only like a little like maybe a third of the way through the fifth book right now. Um, the library only has up to 8, so but they do like they'll order stuff on request, so I can ask them to order the next few.
Hmm. Yeah, because it's up to 11 right now total.
Hmm. But no, that's been going good. I've also I'm just waiting. But I have like this. I'm like convinced that we're gonna get a reveal. Like, have you seen Dragon Quest: Your Story, the Netflix animated movie?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, you haven't seen it at all? Oh, well, then I won't say it.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out then.
But I have a theory that the twist in Solo Leveling is going to be the same from that movie.
We'll see. I don't really know where solo leveling's going at this point, especially where I'm at in the manhwa. Like it's still well, there is a big twist I won't spoil because I know you're not there yet, but shit gets pretty interesting.
Oh, you know what? Come to think of it, if if you haven't watched it yet, maybe that can be our fourth Toriyama month thing. We could
Oh,
do an
maybe.
episode on the Dragon Quest movie.
Yeah, why don't we do that? We'll
because
save it.
it's an animated movie for Dragon Quest V.
Oh, okay. Oh, how did I not know about that?
Yeah, I mean, I saw it a couple of years ago.
I just
It's
don't pay
pretty good.
attention. I don't pay attention to shit,
The
obviously.
only thing I don't like is that Bianca doesn't have like a hick accent. She should, but she doesn't.
Hmm,
That's the only thing I don't like about it.
true. Um, Other than that, I'm still watching Apothecary Diaries and Daima. So the
Yep.
normal
Oh yeah,
normal.
but Pocket. Hmm?
Oh, go on.
I was just saying, Pocket Theory Diaries. The last episode wasn't that like Well, I know one came out today, but the shout out to the last episode was something like
Oh yeah, we got the backstory on the fucking emperor and how he's gross. The old
Oh
emperor
yeah, the previous emperor. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and how he's a freak,
Oh right,
basically.
because it was focusing on the his child bride who is now an adult.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then we found out how the second baby happened, and it was like, oh, they're going here. I don't know
Yeah,
how to feel about this. Um,
it
I mean, he
certainly is old timey
yeah,
China.
yeah. I was like, the old emperor is a piece of shit, but this still makes me uncomfortable, even though he probably deserves it. I'm just like,
Oh yeah, because it
gee.
was the whole like painting room thing and like his how he was like
Well,
perfectly preserved for like a year and stuff.
I was, I was always questioning how she got pregnant a second time if he was into, you know,
Yeah.
not into the older ladies, as they would say, to say it in the most podcast friendly way. And I was wondering how the second pregnancy happened, and then it explains it. I was like, oh, that's not the direction I thought this was gonna go.
Yeah. This show is wild. It's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah, that's all I can say. Like that last episode was holy shit. A lot of shit happened at once.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Especially because the previous episode was kind of meh. I was like, I wonder where we're going here. And then it's like, okay, we're going here.
Hmm.
Interesting. And there's apparently something about a frog coming up that I still don't know the context of, either, other than the fact that apparently it's really big in the fandom. So that episode's coming soon.
Okay.
All I've seen is everyone mentioning the frog scene happens. I'm like, what the fuck is the frog scene? But I don't want to spoil it. I want to wait till it actually comes out.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see when it happens.
Yeah. Wait and see on that one.
So bizarre.
Um,
But
yeah.
I've been enjoying My Hero. I think once you actually finally get around to it, I think you're going to enjoy it. Like it definitely pulls from like American comic superhero stuff a
Well,
lot.
everyone tells me it screams DC Comics the whole time, and I'm like, I know. You think
I
I'd
mean, even
watch it?
even just the art style they use for All Might specifically is like super DC. And then
Okay.
Deku has like a vigilante phase
Yeah,
where he gets like super dark for no reason, but he's still doing like the Superman thing. It's pretty cool.
I'm gonna watch it at some point. I just have like so many things I gotta watch this year.
Yeah, it's long too. It's like
Yeah.
160 episodes so far. I don't think it's done yet. So, and
Well,
they're doing a spin-off series soon.
the manga is done, so it's got an ending coming up.
Yeah, well, I mean the anime is close. I don't see it being more than one more season, but
Yeah.
there is also going to be a spin-off. It's going to be like a prequel story.
Yeah, I've heard about that. We'll wait and see on that. Um, Speaking of DC Comics, I've been really into collecting again.
Mhm.
Recently, like getting books. I've been going to we have a local secondhand comic shop. Damn, collecting comics is a fucking complicated mess.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing. Like, I was kind of disappointed because the library doesn't have much in the way of American comics. It has some. Like, we actually grabbed a couple of like omnibuses of Deadpool comics because Xander wanted to read them.
Hmm.
And when I finish this whole leveling books, I'm gonna read them too. But we're actually tomorrow we're planning going and checking out the library because the one I was going to is the town I grew up in, but the one we're gonna go to tomorrow is the town we currently live in.
Hmm.
So it's a much bigger library, and I'm hoping it has more options. So we'll see.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll have to loan you my DC Infinite account at some point so you can look through there.
Well, I mean, we'll see what the the library has. And like I said, like even if I go to like the one I've been going to, like they do take, you know, order requests. So I if there's like
True.
something in particular, I could just ask them for it and they'll order it for me. So
True. A lot of books are out of print though when it comes to comics, unfortunately.
yeah. Oh well. Oh, they do have a bunch of Chainsaw Man though, so I might start reading that soon.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, oh, actually, speaking of Chainsaw Man, the movie got announced pretty soon. At least it has a release date in Japan, so that means it's at least going to be close.
It's about fucking time.
I know they fucking killed the hype train on that.
Yeah, for real. It's been like 2 years.
I
Like,
know.
it was super hype when it first came out. It was like, okay, give you 12 episodes.
Yeah,
We're still waiting.
I've already read the entire manga that's released over here, like the physicals up to volume 17. So I'm like so far ahead of the anime now. It's not even funny.
It's wild.
Like I'm completely in the second part now, which is completely different from where it ends off. Because I know all the anime only watchers, they have ideas where the show where Chainsaw Man's going, and I'm just sitting there going like, oh, you guys have no idea.
Oh, and you know what? I found I had totally forgotten that these were even a thing. But like when we were talking about doing more like American superhero movies and stuff like that, covering them, I totally forgot about the Venom movies and that Madam Web movie that came out.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, we'll save that for when we're doing the bad stuff. But
Well, the Venom movies.
Well, from what I hear, at least with Madam Web, Venom, I've heard good things about. But
the Venom movies I like to describe as Ven mid, because they're not bad, but they're also like, like.
Well, it's probably still better than a lot of the MCU shit coming out right now. So,
I'll leave that up to your discretion. I've watched the Venom movies. The first one I liked. I'll leave the rest to you.
well.
Chances are
we'll probably end up seeing Venom in the MCU at some point in the future.
Well, I know we will, because the end of
No Way Home.
Spoiler warning for No Way Home does does imply that Venom is in the universe now.
Mm-hmm.
Not Tom Hardy Venom, but he does leave something behind.
Yep. So yeah, half an hour, and we should probably get into Dime Time since we're doing a double episode or double coverage this week.
We should, although these Dime episodes were pretty quick. I won't lie.
Yeah, they were for sure.
Yeah, Dime Time. What's our music again? I think it's. Yeah, that works.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
So episodes 10 and 11. We're halfway there.
Yeah, we're doing it, guys. We're doing it.
The Vegeta team's finally doing stuff.
They finally met up with the main team. So so once again, we're keeping up with the trend, right? So Vegeta's team lose their ship. They get it back. And then Goku's crew immediately gets their ship eaten. Mm-hmm. So now they're switching planes yet again.
There's also a moment in episode 11 that I thought was very hilarious, just for the irony of it, but we'll get to that when we get there. I love the navigator that Bulma's team has.
Oh, Hibis. Yeah,
Hibis.
I love his fucking his very dry delivery.
Yeah,
with a lot of the jokes and shit. I love where he's having the whole argument with Vegeta. He's like, oh, he's talking to Bulma, and he's like, oh, do you want to be my girlfriend? And he's like, that's my wife. He's like, I can share.
Yeah, Vegeta gets so mad.
And she's like, oh, can I just stay a kid and you can be an adult? He's like, no, we're gonna do it together. And he's just like,
yeah, I love how Vegeta's
insistent about it. You must be a boob guy.
Yeah, I loved Vegeta's reaction. He's like, no, that's weird. We're not doing that.
It's so funny
because Vegeta is a normal person.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I just love Hibis's shenanigans. It's pretty great. There's a lot of classic Toriyama DNA in these episodes, especially the fight between Majin Ku and Tamagami number 1. There was a lot of very classic Toriyama shenanigans in that. Which now that you've had a little bit of time with him, how do you feel about Majin Ku as a character?
I find it interesting that he definitely has like there's more going on with him than like Boo at that point, like character
Mhm.
wise. He feels kind of nerfed at the moment, but I also don't know if that's just power scaling, Dragon Ball power scaling being weird right now.
Well, I think that was just an excuse to because Toriyama's rule of thumb is introduce people in pairs. So
True.
he has Kuj thrown in, and they're like, "Oh, we got a brand new Majin Buu essentially, and he's gonna go. He's like a Majin Buu Cyberman hybrid. He's gonna go and be the super strong guy." And then he ends up kind of falling short. Like he's still tough, but like they held back on the Buu essence because they didn't want him to go out of control like Buu did. So he's a lot more mild mannered and like intelligent, but he's not quite as strong. So then they're like, okay, well that didn't work, so we're just gonna go ahead and make another one.
Yeah,
So
and
we're
this
gonna
one
put
is
more Boo than Cyberman this time, and it shows. He's
yeah,
definitely more Boo than Cyberman.
his crazy freak out. They get very scared, and I'm just like, yep, this is going exactly as I expected.
But like I love we've barely seen much of it at this point in the series, but I love Ku and Doo's relationship. Like they're like the little brotherly bond thing they have going on. It's really fun.
Yeah, I also like the whole fact that like these guys, they made them younger to avoid having issues with them, but then they're immediately showing up. They're like, what? They're like, oh great, this completely didn't help at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole like setup for this was just what's his name, Goma, just being like, oh, these guys are so strong. What if they invade? I'm gonna go there and turn them into kids, and be like, well, guess what? Now they have a reason to go there. Like they forgot that the demon realm existed after they killed Deborah, so like they don't give a shit. So if you hadn't done that, they never would have bothered you.
Yeah, you really should not have poked the bear that is Goku's curiosity and Wilt wanting to fight, because now he's just gonna do it out of principle.
Mm-hmm. And as soon as he heard there was a new set of Dragon Balls to collect, he's like, "Ooh, that's fun."
And he's not even really into the Dragon Balls. He just wants to beat shit up because this is Goku we're talking about.
Yeah, I think it's a little column A, little column B, because I think he's been missing the fun Dragon Ball collecting adventures as well. Like,
well, because they
got too easy over the years.
Oh yeah, because he can get them in a day, realistically, if he wants now. As Pansy said, how was he a father? And as Goku said, I wasn't really involved.
So yeah,
just
they're flying along and like they're talking to Supreme Kai about like, oh, it must be nice to be home and blah blah blah. And then he's like, oh, are there still Krakens here? Because the second demon, we didn't mention, the second demon world is pretty much like all ocean with like a couple like planets like kind of floating around. And he's like, oh, are there still Krakens here? And then like immediately one pops up and eats their ship.
Yeah. Yeah, sure did.
And like I know it was kind of like a minor thing, but I also really liked like when Pansy ran back into the plane to get the Dragon Ball. Like Glorio's reaction to that, like even though like it set him up to be kind of like an undercover kind of like, I'm working for the bad guy here, really, but like I'm stringing you guys along. Like you can already tell like he's warmed up to them a lot. Like he was showing like real concern about Pansy's situation there. So
he showed an emotion that wasn't indifference
or annoyance.
Yeah, or mild annoyance, because even then he still isn't that annoyed.
Yep, good old Gorillo.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for him to call him Glory Hole at one point.
I'm pretty sure at literally every single episode that he's been in, he at one point or another he says it's Glorio.
Yeah,
every time. Even when Bulma's just like, "Hey, what's your name again?" It's Glorio.
Yeah,
he's like almost his catchphrase at this point.
He's almost as bad. Like they're almost as bad as how Jinwoo is with remembering shit and solo leveling.
But so yeah, they're like, all right, so we don't have a plane, so we're just gonna wait for them to come by. We're just gonna go park our asses over on the original Namekian planet.
Yeah.
And
then what's his name shows up?
Neva.
He's in it. There's more going on with that guy, I swear.
Oh,
anyways, that was my guess. That was what I thought.
So yeah, he pops up and he's feigning.
The senile act is not fooling anybody at this. Well, it's not fooling Piccolo.
Yeah, and I love that when he starts doing the whole thing, he starts singing the OG Dragon Ball theme song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is just hilarious. I think that's like, it's a callback to OG, but it's also kind of a callback to Super when Goku was singing Chala Head Chala.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty fun.
I like how they acknowledge too that Piccolo is not technically the original Piccolo. He's Piccolo Jr. technically.
Well, the father he kept referring to was actually the father of the nameless Namekian.
Well, yeah.
Who sent the egg out into space.
Yeah.
Which, I think this is the first time Katas has been brought up since Guru.
Probably.
Yeah, we had another like one of those weird like, oh, this seems like home situation, which you already did when he went dynamic. So I don't know. It was kind of weird.
That was so long ago, though. I mean, do the kids remember that at this point? Toriyama probably doesn't remember that. Didn't remember that at the time.
Yeah, that's true. So we get a little history lesson here, and it kind of a little confusing because Supreme Kai's going into like all this detail about like, well, first of all, apparently all of the universes originated from the Demon Realm. So the Demon Realm is the original plane of existence, which I find a little confusing because why would it be called the Demon Realm if it was just, this is just what there is?
The entire thing, like when I got this plot thing, my entire thought process was, this is one of those things that we're not supposed to think too hard about, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's another one of those things that kind of throws a huge wrench into the whole this is connected to Super thing. Because it's like, oh, the highest like the highest being of creation that created all the universe. I forget the name. It was Rimus? I think it was Rimus. It was like the great Lord Rimus or whatever. Created all the universes and then set the Glins out to be Supreme Kai and look over the universes. But then in Super, it's like, no, the highest being is Zeno. So it makes me wonder, like, is Zeno like Primus's kid? Because I mean, they do look kind of similar a little bit, like not like identical, like, but they look similar enough where like Zeno could be his kid in a way. So
I don't know if we'll ever get an answer.
Well, we're definitely never going to get an answer. At least not an answer that people will ever accept because Toriyama's no longer with us. So
true.
But let's be real. Like, even if he was still with us, he would just make up the answer on the spot. So that was kind of his MO.
I'm pretty sure he created the Demon World just as an excuse for anything that doesn't make sense. You could just say, well, it came from the Demon World.
Yeah.
That seems to be the new answer to all the fucking questions we have in this world.
Yeah. But then, like, the weird thing where it's like, oh, is this connected to Super or not? Like, when he's telling that whole story and saying, like, oh, yeah, he sent all of us Glins out to be Supreme Kai and all this stuff. And it shows all the Supreme Kai that we saw in Super. So it's like, I don't know what to think at this point. You know, that's why I look at it. This is separate from Super. Like, yeah, there are some connecting tissues, but it's not connected at all.
That's why I'm kind of getting on your time ring theory, where like all the different time rings of the different universes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just makes too much sense now at this point.
There's also spoiler warning. There's going to be something in the next episode that already kind of shoots Super in the foot. So
yeah, I'm convinced these are separate universes just entirely.
Yeah. I mean, even just the fact that Supreme Kai isn't a fused being anymore, like from the very first episode, and they unfused in a completely different way. So it's like already, it's like, yeah, this isn't. That's what I was gonna say. Like, if any of them is like a true continuation, it's probably this one, even though Super is the more accepted one.
I'm
But
gonna say it's at this point now, where now that we have like multiple timelines, it's gonna be just one of those cases of whichever one you like is the
yeah,
future you can accept. I feel
pretty
bad for
much.
the GT fans because that doesn't go very far, but
But so where do we leave off? Yeah, so basically Nev was like, yeah, so I want to go with you guys, and they're like, no, there's no room.
this was the scene that made me laugh so hard because like they wouldn't let the rest of them join because there wasn't going to be enough room, and then this guy's like very unconvincing, like please, and they're like okay, fine.
Well, I mean, he did make a good point. He's like, you need to be able to know Namekian to make the wish in the first place,
Yeah,
and I'm the only one here who knows how to speak the language.
yeah.
So
I did.
if you don't take me, you don't get your wish.
What was that language that Piccolo and Kami were speaking in the tournament in original
Namekian.
Dragon Ball? Okay, so it's bullshit. Then. Okay. I was gonna say when he said that, I was like, mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah.
So that
A lot of people have made that argument.
I'm like, okay, that wasn't important, I guess.
Not to mention that Popo had to teach Bulma at least some Namekian to be able to fly Kami's ship to Namek.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Toriyama forgot. It's okay.
Well, no, Piccolo forgot because he's been living on Earth for too long. That's what it. Even though he fused with somebody who grew up on planet Namek, but that's fine.
And then someone else who knew the
language,
and then someone else who clearly knew the language. Toriyama forgot. Anyways,
Piccolo forgot.
It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit.
Also, I love like how in episode 9, I think it was, when they met up with Vegeta's group and Vegeta's group didn't have their plane, and they're like, oh, well, we thought you were picking us up so we could ride with you, and they're like, no, we don't have room, you guys are just gonna have to get a different ride. And then they get their ship back, and then in episode 10, fucking Glorio and Goku's group's plane get eaten, and it's just like, yeah, can you pick us up? And I love how like Glorio was like, we need our luggage more than we need you, and then they lose their luggage, and they're like, yeah, we need you.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it ended up working out because if they had all been together in the first place, then that plane would have been eaten. So
Yes.
it did end up working out ultimately, but I just find the humor of it funny.
This definitely is a humorous show. Like there is a lot going on here.
Oh, and yeah, so as we kind of like referred to earlier, Ku did lose the fight to the Tamagami.
Yes.
But I still find him very entertaining because he has a good singing voice and he can make store trips. So that's good.
I like the Tamagamis too. I find them very interesting.
Yeah. I like that. Was that I know the actor who did Tamagami number 2, and I forgot to look up his name. I meant to do that ahead of time, but he's been in like fucking everything. Actually, he plays All for One in My Hero Academia.
That's a good question. I can find out in a second.
But
Tamagami
yes.
number 2?
Yeah. The one that Vegeta starts to fight with. Because he's been in a bunch. I know he was in Fairy Tail. He's in a ton of shit.
He is. This article doesn't help me. It doesn't give voices. John Swayze.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, he's around. He's been around. He's got one of those like deep but also kind of raspy voices. Like one of those voices that says, like he gets cast as old men a lot, basically. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I'm looking through his list. He's been in pretty much everything.
Yeah, he's been around.
Oh, he was Zachary in Attack on Titan. That makes sense. Oh, he died.
Oh yeah. Oh, he did? The actor?
No, the character.
Oh yeah.
Titan.
Well, everybody died in Attack on Titan.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I like. I found that really like that was like one of the first voices we've gotten in this show, aside from Aaron Dismuke, that was like, oh, I know you. You're like a Funimation mainstay.
I think Sabat's voiced like a background character at one point. I swear I heard his voice somewhere.
It's possible. But like the vast majority of the acting in this show has been all like relative newcomers. So that's been interesting so far.
I do like the fact too that like Tamagami number 2 doesn't want to fight Vegeta.
Until he sees Neva in the background.
He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. You were clearly worth the fight.
Daddy brought you here. Okay, I guess I'll fight you." Because we also find out that Neva's the one who created the Tamagamis and is also the one who created the Demon World Dragon Balls.
Yes.
So he's like a super like important legendary figure in Namekian lore.
Yeah, and I found his whole fucking senile act bullshit from the second he appeared. I was like, this guy's hiding something.
Yeah, he was definitely very suspect even in that first episode.
And then Vegeta gets eaten by a Kraken.
Yeah, that does happen.
Which is like it's always Vegeta. Like every time Vegeta's looking kind of cool and actually getting a chance to fight, something fucking happens that ruins it. Oh,
don't worry, he'll get some stuff. He'll get some stuff.
Oh, I'm sure, but it's very on brand for Vegeta.
So yeah, we back at like the first Demon World, we get Dew's creation, which apparently how deep the seed is buried makes a difference. I don't understand how that works, but maybe it like absorbs more of the essence going like as it grows out. I don't know. It's like a weird CGI like formation when it's I don't understand. It's magic. It's magic.
Dragon Ball.
It's demon magic.
He was a brilliant scientist. You know?
Yeah. She was a brilliant
scientist.
But yeah, Dew comes out and he's very Boo like, both in personality and in stature. And is much stronger than Ku. But I love how like when Ku is like looking at the seed, he's like, so this is gonna be my younger brother, right? And like, well, yeah, I guess so. I hadn't really thought about it. It's like, cool. I've always wanted a younger brother. And it's like, dude, you've been alive for 2 hours. What are you talking about? You should even have a concept of what a brother is.
The writing has been very witty, I will say.
And I love that there was kind of a callback to episode 10 because Hybis was talking to Supreme Kai about like, oh, you and Aransu and Degasu must have had a lot of arguments over snacks. And then like we jump to Ku and Dew and they're having an argument over chocolate and Ku's like, oh, look at us having an argument about snacks. Like, I don't know, I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But I love how when Dew is first like formed, the first thing he does is a Dr. Slump reference.
Yeah.
And like Aransu and what's her name? The witch lady is just compelled to do it back. The Ncha. Or they say Ncha, but I believe it's actually supposed to be Ncha. I don't know why they did it the way they did, but I don't know. Maybe so they had somebody different writing the script or directing it.
Or they flubbed the line and they just left it in.
Possible. It's possible. And then like after that, when Ku runs to the store, he's running like a Raleigh.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're definitely channeling a lot of that kind of gaggy type of style to it.
I will say, despite how quick these episodes were, they are a lot more interesting now that we've got the full cast here.
Yeah, I think at this point we pretty much have the vast majority of characters we're going to have. There's a couple like minor players that show up later, but they're not important. But yeah, now that we pretty much got everybody together on both sides, actually, we got all the villains together and all the heroes together.
Yeah, it's definitely picking up. I'm looking forward to the next few episodes, seeing where it goes.
The next episode is going to be a really good action episode.
I'll probably watch that after we get done recording.
But
yeah. Anything else on? Oh, what are your thoughts on Stephanie Nadolny's performance? I know it's been actually it's weirdly been a topic of discussion with the show. I've noticed.
Yeah, it's getting better. I've noticed the past couple episodes. It's been maybe it's just because she hasn't been using the same inflection she's used in earlier episodes, but it's I haven't noticed as much like weird deliveries as I was noticing earlier on. So maybe it was just a matter of like she had to warm up to it, and now she's kind of getting there.
It's definitely more consistent. The people online who are complaining it doesn't sound the same, it's like no shit. It's like she's significantly older. Like,
Yeah. Like she hasn't acted as Goku in like a series since fucking GT.
yeah, in like
That
over a
was
decade.
mid 2000s. It's been a long time.
Yeah. And even
It's
then, like,
been
no,
pretty much 2 decades.
I mean, even like one of the greatest, like Chris Sabat, he sounds nothing like he did when he first started. Like like you listen to
Yeah.
Kuwabara and then listen to like his stuff now, and it's like, yeah, he's definitely gotten better.
It's actually like I need to get around to watching the new Yu Yu Hakusho OVAs because I want to hear what his current Kuwabara sounds like.
I'm curious what Botan sounds like, because Cynthia Cran sounds nothing like she did then nowadays either.
Well, I mean, she's been consistently acting,
True,
so
but her
I mean,
her
it's
voice
not
is
as much of a difference as we've noticed with Stephanie Natali.
true.
I'm sure we'd have a similar situation if Tiffany Ballmer came back too.
Yeah, yeah.
But we know Monica Rial's never gonna fucking let go of that role. So
No, then they're close enough that it's not a huge deal. It's not like nothing against Colleen Clickenbeard, but I just never her as Goku just never sounded right.
no, I mean, I warmed up to her as Gohan eventually, like for like the big scene, like with in the Cell games, but like I still preferred Stephanie Nadalny over.
Well, the
I
problem
mean,
with when
and
she
I
does
love
that,
Colleen Clinkenbeard as an actress. Like she does great work. Like lots of other characters that she's played. Like I've never had a problem with her acting before.
well,
It's just that particular character that I have an issue with.
see, my problem with it is it's not even the acting that's bad. It's just that she sounds like Luffy. It just sounds like Luffy.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, that was Daima time. We're past the halfway point now, so we got less than 10 to go.
Yeah, it's like what I mean, if
Episode
we get
12
one
tonight.
one a week, 12 just came out, so we got 2 months. 2 months of Daima.
Around there, yeah. Because we don't know
Or
exactly
8 episodes.
Yeah.
So look forward to that. We'll have to see how we're gonna handle, because I know we're doing Toriyama month, but I know we're gonna at least have, or at least so far the plan is to have at least one guest for that. I'd like to try and pull one or two more if possible, but I don't know how we're gonna handle Daima time for those episodes, or if we want to like, once we get to like the point where like, okay, we're, because what from like 15 onward, you hit kind of like a building climax where it's like, that's when like the end game starts. So I'm wondering if maybe we should just, when it hits that point, just wait and then cover them all together, or I don't know. We'll talk about that later, but
yeah, we'll see. But,
or we can just see if our guests have been watching, and if they are, then great.
Yeah,
works out.
But yeah. So an hour in, let's get to our topic for this episode.
Yeah.
So this is a bit of a throwback to one of our earliest episodes of the series, where
Our third episode, I believe.
yeah, I think it was. We're finally going back to the live action Rurouni Kenshin series. We're going to be talking about Rurouni Kenshin 2, Kyoto Inferno, or as I like to call it, Disco Inferno, because if you're going to name it that, that's just going to happen. Like, it's Disco Inferno.
Yeah. So I know, like when we did the first one, we kind of tried to like kind of do it like GNC style, where we tried to like go through the whole movie like beat by beat. But I think at this point we've realized that that's not really our style on this show.
We're not GNC. We've grown on. Also, when we watched that the first time, I had not seen any Rurouni Kenshin media. Period. I've now watched the entire '96 anime. I've seen enough other stuff and some of the manga that I actually know what's going on now. So it'll be a bit different going around this time, and I can actually comment on things.
Now you have the context for the girl's fiance that he killed during the restoration. He's like, that was actually super fucking important.
Yeah, I did re-listen to our first episode, and I laughed when I was like super confused by all the shit and being like, I don't get it. Like,
yeah.
Well,
now that I've watched the context, now it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I've watched Trust and Betrayal. I understand now, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that guy and that girl.
Yeah, right. Super important.
So right off the bat, this one is a lot more of a like beat for beat adaptation than the first movie was.
It is and it isn't. Like I have a weird thing with this movie, and maybe the second one will make up for it, or a third one, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it. Um,
Because this is a
but
two. This is technically the first part of a two-parter.
yeah, so I mean, I think because of that, the next time we do a live action, it should just be the next one of that, and then we
Yeah,
can take a break before we jump into the next one. But
yeah,
just to kind of keep it consistent. Um, but yeah, there was a few choices, and I honestly I think a lot of the issues that I have are direct results of some of the choices they made from the first movie that kind of forced their hand. I think they wrote themselves into a
yeah.
corner in a couple points, and it made a lot of things lose significance.
Hmm.
Specifically regarding the Oniwaban.
Yeah, they were a little different this time around. Not badly, but definitely different.
I don't like the way Aoshi was handled.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Is
You know what
the
fucking
way.
threw me? You know what threw me off about Aoshi the entire time watching this?
Mhm.
He's voiced by fucking Lloyd.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
That
I
threw me
mean,
off the entire
it's kind of
time.
hard to tell though because it just kept going. Batosai. Where's Batosai? It's just
It,
like,
I heard it and I'm
why
like,
should I care? Like,
I heard it and I'm like, that's Alex Hogan. And I looked it up. I'm like, it is Alex Hogan. It's Lloyd. God
well,
damn.
how about Misao being played by fucking Rimuru?
She's not just Rimuru. She's also. I said jump.
Yeah, she's Bunny Girl.
Fucking. Now that I know that, I'm never gonna unhear it. I noticed that one right away because that actress.
She has a very distinct voice.
She.
Honestly, I think it was crazy that we didn't notice it right away with the Bunny Girl.
Well, to be fair, like she was extremely dramatic and like overacting in ghost stories. Like in her
Hmm.
normal performances, she's actually normal.
Hmm.
Ironically, Rimuru is a bit of an outlier for her because she usually plays like young girl characters.
Yeah. Um.
Granted, Rimuru is a bit of a slime, so
Yeah. Genderless.
to put it lightly. I did notice that I still love. So I will say right off the bat too, like the actors, all still do a great job. The
For
production
sure.
value is great. Like
Yeah, yeah. The sword
this
fights are incredible.
this is still the pinnacle of anime live action to me.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
see, I have my gripes, but I feel like uh in a way my gripes are really mostly from me looking at it from the perspective of like, well, I mean, with the Aoshi thing specifically, no matter which way I look at it, whether I'm looking at it as somebody who is a fan of Rurouni Kenshin, or whether I'm trying to look at it as from the perspective of somebody who doesn't know Rurouni Kenshin and trying to put myself in that mindset, either way, the way they handle Aoshi doesn't make sense.
yeah,
Because you're looking at it like, let's say you look at it from like the fan perspective, and like you say, okay, well, you removed all of his boys. You removed all of his boys from like when he was originally introduced in the anime because they just completely put somebody else in that role in the first movie. So he just shows up and he's just like, "Oh, where's Batosai? I need to fight
yeah.
Batosai. I need to
He
kill
beats the
Batosai."
shit out of he beats the ever loving shit out of Sanosuke, and then like grabs Megumi and like fucking like wails her around. I'm just like, Jesus, dude, don't be a dick.
Yeah, and she's just like, "Dude, I don't even know. Like, I'm just a passerby. I don't fucking. I
Yeah.
just wanted you to stop."
Don't just
Like,
fucking like choke slam like the random like lady that's walking by. It's like Jesus.
yeah, but it's like you lose the context of why it's so important for him to beat Kenshin. Because the whole
Yeah.
like the whole I need to lay the flowers on the graves of my companions. Like that's his whole motivation, and without that, he's just a bloodthirsty asshole.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with the movie, because it's not a perfect adaptation, it's just one of those things that unfortunately is going to get lost in translation.
Yeah. Well, again, like it's one of those things where if the first movie had been standalone, it would have been perfect. But whereas it's leading into this, and they made that conscious choice, and I feel like they just wrote themselves into a corner, and they didn't know how to fix it, so they just said,
Eh.
he shows up because they
I,
can't just cut him out because the Oniwaban is such an important
No,
part
yeah,
as a whole of this arc. It's so important with
he's
Misao and
considered
the
a
old
main
guy and.
he's considered a main character like of the series. So
hmm So
um
it's just that was a little frustrating to me.
one other thing I want to point out about the production values. This is nothing against the production because I think this is more just a personal gripe from an aesthetic point. Um, Shishio.
It's very moist.
Well, they got his look down perfect. Like I give them I commend them for like going into detail about how it looks. But when I saw it, I'm like, wow, they got that perfect. And then it also I went, wow, that doesn't work in live action.
No,
Like,
it's very gross. You know, they get like the whole
oh,
like
they
the
did a
whole look.
great they did a great job. It just doesn't work in live action. He looks stupid as fuck.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
anime, like in the manga and in the anime, that looks it's fine. It makes sense. Live action, no. I was like, no, he just looks like a bad mummy Halloween costume.
yeah. See, I think part of the problem is the bandages look too perfect.
They
Like
look
he's
too
so like wet and like kind of bloody and pussy and gross like underneath, but then the bandages themselves look perfectly fine. Like they're like completely pristine. Like it doesn't fit. Like they need to be like dirty or something. Like you know what I mean?
yeah.
They need to look like you expect he smells. Like that's how it should be. you know?
It's like you remember how I joked in like the first movie how like that one guy with the mask, I was like, who's the Slipknot reject over here?
Yeah.
In this one, I'm like, oh, we got a member of Guar now. See?
Also, there was another weird thing. Like, why was he so moist? Because he makes it a point multiple times to say, all my sweat glands were melted shut, so I can't sweat anymore. So why is he moist?
Yeah. Um
I don't know. It's just one of those things that I just
that
I
this
don't I don't understand how it works when you have severe burns. So I mean, I couldn't really tell you, but
The scene though where he gets betrayed and like we get his like dark descent origin story, I was like, holy fuck, that's dark. I know it was
yeah,
dark in the
right.
anime too, but like here I was like, holy shit. Like
Yeah, because they come up to him like, "Hey, buddy, you did it. We did it. It's great." Six stab, 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 stab. Like,
is it
like
implied
Jesus
they would have
Christ.
is it implied that they would have done that to Kenshin if Kenshin had stayed the
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or would
They
Kenshin
they
have seen
they
it coming?
probably would have. Um,
Because Kenshin is like weirdly inhuman when it comes to certain things.
True, but I mean, she was pretty inhuman too. But I
True.
mean, Kenshin is also really good at picking up on shit, so maybe he would have noticed. And he's also very fast. That's kind of his whole thing. So
True.
maybe he
Another
would have noticed.
another thing I want to bring up too is the more and more I watch these things, I still got to watch the new anime, but from what I've heard, it also kind of agrees with my sentiments. The 96 anime did Karu really dirty.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny too because I've noticed. Yeah, Kaoru handles the whole situation way
So much
better in this
better in
version.
this. She doesn't cry
Like,
like a bitch for like 20
like,
minutes in the
like
forest.
she does what like a normal person would do in that situation. Like, she doesn't just like crawl inside of herself and just go hide and lay down and be like an invalid for like a
Yeah,
few days. Like,
she doesn't go fetal for like 3 episodes.
she goes about her life, and she's
Yeah.
like, you know what? Like, this sucks, but I guess I just have to accept it and just go about my day
We also
like
didn't need
any fucking normal person.
we also didn't need Megumi fucking bitch slapping her, like telling her to wake up this time around. It was like, no, she actually sensibly is like, you're not okay. You got to go to see him.
hmm Yeah, and also, she has more than one student in this. She has like a whole fucking like
Yeah.
horde of students, which I
Well,
thought was interesting.
the old man and his two like nieces don't exist in like this universe. So
Well, they exist like in like say the manga and like the new anime, but like they're not like constants at the dojo like they are in the 90s anime. I don't know
yeah,
why that happened, but
they need kid
um,
appeal characters.
well, that's what Yahiko is there for.
Yeah, but he was an annoying shit in the '96 anime.
But he kind of has like the reverse thing going on in this though. Like he's such a nothing character in this movie.
Yeah, I've heard he's better handled in the new anime. I still gotta watch it, so I can't say.
Yeah,
But
I'd say so for sure. But it's just like in this movie, And really, in both of the movies that I've seen so far, he's just there to go, oh wow, Kenshin, that was amazing. Like that's his whole
Yeah.
purpose is just to do that. Like,
I do say though, like Kenshin's actor, like he nails this role. Like he is perfect throughout this thing.
mhm. Yeah,
Although I will say the scene where the reverse blade sword breaks is really goofy in live action
yeah,
because it literally like just goes like whoop, there it goes, and I'm just like, oh, it
very
broke.
CG. It was
I
very
remember
CG.
I remember it being so much more dramatic in the anime.
Yeah, well, in the anime, I think it was one of those like actual like samurai moments where they do the whole koof, they go past each other, and then it actually shows, and it's like, oh shit, his sword is broken. It's
Yeah,
one of
this
those
one
ones
it
they do
just
it.
kind of it like hovers up and flies away, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, in this you actually see the swords collide. It just goes ping.
Well, in this one, the tip of the reverse blade sword literally goes, "I must go now. My people need me," and then flies away. That's literally what
Oh,
happens.
jeez. Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. Oh, speaking of ridiculous, how did you like the Avatar fucking reference at the beginning with like the goofy play?
Oh, that was funny as fuck. Well, I love the
It's-
tech too. That Kenshin was totally into it. Like he's like, "Yeah, this is me."
Yeah, it's just like oh, you can see by my scars that I am him. He's just photo. He's, what? He's all like got the white face paint, like the
Yeah,
red makeup and shit. He's just
I
like,
I love that
ah, it
Kenshin.
is I, Bakusai.
I love that Kenshin was totally into it. He was like, "Yeah, this is fine."
Yep, it was pretty
Um,
funny. And then Kaoru had to go and fucking taboo herself and be like, "Oh, it's a good thing that in real life, Batosai is just he's just a memory. He doesn't exist anymore." So of course, immediately after that, he's like, "I guess I'm gonna go be Batosai now." Like,
yeah. Speaking of like actors, so that it's the same dub cast from the first movie. Like we got Alexis Tipton as Karu. She does a great job. Still
mhm.
weird though because I just all I hear is uh Kaguya. But we've got Mika Solstru Sud. I can't pronounce that. I apologize as Kenshin. He does a very good job, even though I'm so used to him as from Black Clover.
Mhm.
And then my favorite, because it's such a different voice for him, Eric Vale as Sanosuke.
It works though, in my
He does a
opinion. I don't know. It's just something about like the general look of the Japanese actor who plays Sanosuke. It just doesn't fit the character to me, and like, but I mean, like he does a fine job with like the acting and stuff. It's just the look just doesn't match for me. Like
I think
he looks
unfortunately
too short.
Sanosuke's build in the anime, that's just a hard build to find, especially for a Japanese actor.
That's true.
I loved how hard Eric Vale goes though during like all of these scenes where he's just like bitching and whining about Kenshin leaving.
Yeah. Oh, and that's another thing that really bothered me about Aoshi is they just gave him Sanosuke's backstory.
Yeah,
So now I think it's pretty set in stone that we're not going to get Sanosuke's backstory, and it's not going to be relevant at any point.
probably not.
Also, he didn't get his training thing, which I mean, based on the way the movie ends, like it kind of seems like they're setting it up where Sanosuke and Kenshin are going to have their training bit like in the middle of the raid, which
Yeah, that was an
fucking
odd change.
I don't understand why that's the case. It would have made a lot more sense to me personally if they had done the train. I mean, I get they need the action to be more interesting and stuff, like, but it would have made more sense pacing wise if they had done the training and then like had the movie end with the raid about to start.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
I
So
will I will say too, I did find I got enjoyment out of like when Sanosuke leaves to go find Kenshin, he has the sword. I'm like, oh, he still has that. Right.
yeah, I thought that was weird too.
And then he gets into a fight with it, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna actually use the sword. He immediately throws it away. I'm like, oh, never mind.
Okay, so you
It's
just brought that for no reason. Okay. He
no,
also
it
he
was
doesn't he like leaves to go to Kyoto and then he doesn't actually get there until the thing already started. Like
well,
place is already on fire by the time he shows up.
he needed his big sword because he needed to use it as a bindle to like carry
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
pack. That was the only reason they kept the sword. I
A
do
stick's
love
not extreme enough for him.
I do love too that like they note for note like redid the scene where when Kairu does end up going to Kyoto to find Kenshin, like he sees her and just goes, oh hi, you're here, and then just immediately continues on with his day.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, that's
Um,
funny. They kept that the same.
yeah. Well, the whole like Kenshin goodbye thing, it not nearly as impactful, but it would have been a lot harder to get the whole Firefly situation going in real life. It
Honestly, I
also
liked it
wouldn't have
more,
worked
and
as well.
I liked it more in this because he just gives her a hug and he's like, I have to go now, and she kind of like you can tell it hurts her, but she doesn't actually like keeps it together, which I liked. In the fucking anime, the fireflies are nice, but she just like cries in a forest for like 20 minutes. I'm like, this scene goes
But
on too long.
I mean, yeah, like the keeping it together, I agree with you there. But I don't know. It's just it's a stylistic thing. I just
He
feel like
also he
the
also
Fireflies
leaves.
are part of the symbology.
Yeah, he also leaves in like broad daylight. Like he doesn't even hide it. He's like, yeah, I'm leaving. It's like okay,
He gave her a hug instead of fireflies this time.
yeah, yeah. Because in the anime, he tries to sneak away at night, and she just happens to find him. And this one, he's
Mm.
like just straight up like, I'm leaving, bitch. See ya.
Yeah, I'm out. He's like, I must wander.
Also, did they? I can't remember the '96 anime. Did they try to set Karu on fire to get him to attack in the original anime, or is this a new thing?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure she was just with the Oniwaban the whole time.
Yeah, I don't think she gets captured in the '96 anime.
Because ironically enough, the remake is at the exact same point where this movie ended. Like I watched the newest episode today, and it was literally like it ended with the ship going down,
Yeah.
and yeah, Kaoru was off. She was still in the city with the Oniwaban
Okay.
doing
Yeah, 'cause
doing their thing.
when she gets captured there, I'm like, I don't remember her getting captured during this arc. And then they tried to set her on fire, and I'm just like, oh, that's a choice.
Yeah. Well, what can you say, man? Shishio, he likes his fire. You know,
I
I
love
don't
how
know.
she's
You'd think he'd want to stay far away from it. He was introduced with fire all around at the beginning of this movie, and you're like, bro, you don't have sweat glands. Like, isn't it like a whole thing with his character where it's like, if I don't cool myself regularly, I'll just burst into flames because spontaneous combustion. It's just like, well, then what the fuck are you doing standing in a pit of fire? You fucking moron with
the
your
fire
goddamn
make
bandages.
the fire makes it look cool.
But I don't know. And Kenshin won't kill, so I have to assume he's gonna die the same way in the next movie. But
Yeah. Um yeah, the ending is weird too. He just washes up on he uh, well okay, first off, we should talk about what did you think of Shishio's performance, like his voice actor?
I thought the voice actor they chose, like if you couldn't get Steve Bloom, like this was a solid second choice.
He's so goofy, but I love him. Like
Well,
he
I've seen this guy, or not seen, but like he's been in tons of stuff.
it's
Like and
David Wald.
yeah, because I know he played Gajeel in Fairy Tale, and that was like how I originally knew him. But I've seen him in a bunch of stuff up to this point now, and he has the right voice for that kind of role for like a character who suffered severe burns. Like he's got the right voice for
I
it.
just
Like
he hams every scene up. Like this I love like when Kenshin goes to rescue Karu and like he's like, "Where's Karu?" And he's like, well, "What's this? I'm here to fight. I praise you and you're only caring about the girl. Like what is this?"
mhm, yeah.
I was like, was he this quippy in the original? Like he's very quippy in this.
No, I definitely think he was a little bit more like witty with like the bantery stuff, like what like the hot spring joke that he makes, and
Yeah.
he's just like, oh, like look at me, like I think I would freak people out if I just showed up to the hot spring, so I just decided to take it over,
Yeah.
because I was being considerate. He's
Or
just like,
my favorite line right at the end is like he's like, "Ah, he wouldn't let me defeat him, so he just decided to kill himself." I'm just like, "What?"
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I don't know. I like the way Shishio was written in this. Like I like the performance. I like the line deliveries and
the
stuff. Like it's
the
pretty great.
voice acting made up for how stupid he was because I still can't get over that.
I'll tell you one thing I didn't like though. I did not like the kid. I didn't like the kid. The kid annoyed the shit out of me.
Oh yeah, the kid whose parents got murdered just cries the entire time.
Yeah, well, it's the way he cries. Like I don't know. Maybe they just got the wrong fucking person to play him, but like at least the voice acting of it. But
I
like,
forgot about that scene in the anime. I was like, oh yeah, the hanging family, and then the villager's like, don't cut them down, and then Kenshin just
yep,
immediately cuts them down.
he's just like, nah, fuck you, I'm
There,
doing it.
there was a theme of people beating the shit out of people while they're down in this movie. I will say,
Yeah,
like
yeah, I
after
did that
they
a
go
lot.
to when the head of the or the country, whatever, the guy in the carriage who gets murdered. When they open the
Kubo.
Yeah, when Kubo gets murdered and then like they open the carriage and he falls out, they're like, someone got to him before us. Let's stab him anyways. I'm just
Let's
like,
stab him some more.
I was like, okay, sure.
I think that did happen though. I think
I,
that was a thing.
I think I questioned it in the anime too. I think I was like, okay, sure.
Well, it might have been their way to be like, hey, look, we did it. Like it was us. We did
The,
it.
the poor guy like manning the carriage, like he did nothing wrong, and they can still
It's
kill
like he
him.
just got out and was like, ah, shit. What the fuck?
Yeah, they just fucking kill him. I'm like, poor guy wasn't doing anything. Like, leave him alone.
Yeah.
That ending though, he washes up on the shore. This is a completely original, right? Because I don't remember this at all.
No, well, I mean, in the anime, he went specifically to his master for training.
Right, right, because he had to learn that special move.
Yeah, the Amakakaru Ryo no Hirameki, which I can't remember fucking Hibis's name half the time, but I can remember that.
Yeah,
Don't ask me how. But
I can't remember a single character in fucking solo leveling, but I can remember that.
yeah, it's fucking wild.
It's like how I can remember all the fucking attacks in fucking Inuyasha, but I can't remember fucking names in a fucking anime that I'm obsessed with right now.
Well, how can you forget Iron Reaver Soul Stealer? I mean,
Blades of Blood,
um,
Adamant Barrage.
yeah. Uh, oh, and one thing I do like, I don't know, I don't know which I like better with Misao's introduction. I
She feels
definitely feel like she was first of all she was underutilized in this movie, like to a wide degree, and part of that I think is a branch of the whole Aoshi issue.
yeah, her
Because her
entire
character is so based around Aoshi that like having the Aoshi issue kind of directly affects her.
It
Um,
honestly makes it worse than this one because I still think her obsession with him in in the anime and manga in general is kind of weird. Um,
well,
but
she
then
does like kind of like have her moment where she's like, "All right, well, you tried to kill the guy who raised me, so like, I still have like that lingering thing." But it's not until like he comes back around is like, okay, I guess I'll chill the fuck out. That she's like, "All right, I love you again."
it's still weird. It's still very weird. Um, yeah, but this movie it made it even weirder. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. But like, I kind of love her introduction where she just like kind of sneaks up on Kenshin's camp and just kind of snatches his sword and he walks up and he catches her like eating his fish and she just like they lock eyes and she just turns around and books it.
I do love the scene though where like she runs away and then he's just there. I'm like, oh yeah, right, he's fast. And
Yep.
she's like, how the fuck did you get here? I'm gonna run this way now. And then like she lays down and she's like, finally got away. And then Kenshi just casually walks by and just grabs the sword. I'm like, yeah, that's Kenshin.
Yeah. I will say
I,
like some of the humor in this movie was pretty solid, even though there was a lot of dark shit going on.
I loved his like that during that whole scene. He's like, like
Yeah. He does that a lot.
he doesn't do his goofy ass fucking noises that like Richard Casio does in the original anime, but he
Well,
has some moments.
I think that was like a thing with like just the way that stuff was dubbed back then. I think from what I've seen, from what I've read in the manga, like the Oro thing has always been a Kenshin thing, and just
Yeah,
for whatever
it's
reason that wasn't in the original dub.
yeah, it's mostly just like 90s animes were like really over the top with like the slapstick and stuff. That's why Karu is like violent as fuck for no reason in that anime.
Mhm. But I mean, overall, it was still an enjoyable watch. I mean, I watched it twice this week,
I
so I
watched
mean,
it
like,
literally right before we recorded, so
fair enough. But I mean, it was enjoyable enough. Like, I didn't like hate my time with it, except for the part with that kid because he just fucking irritated me.
it was like, shut up.
It's like, yes, your parents are dead. Deal with it. He's sorry, but like, Jesus Christ. Um, and oh, we didn't talk about We didn't talk about Cho the Sword Hunter. How did you feel about him
He appears
in
like
this?
twice. Like he's such a another underutilized character. I'm assuming he'll probably appear more in the second movie, hopefully.
It's possible. I'm not 100% because I mean in the anime he's just in jail during all that stuff.
True.
Like he kind of like in the remake he kind of pops up a little bit more here and there just like as like a I'm just gonna taunt you from the jail cell kind of situation. But like I liked him like in the anime. Like I thought he was a fun character, even though he came and went pretty quick. But
Mhm.
I thought like he was a good introduction to the idea of the 10 swords.
Yeah.
Um,
And then here he appears for like 2 seconds, and like they went out of their way to get his hair perfect. Like he was like one of the best like character designed like actors in this, and then like he's like literally like appears twice, and then that's really about it.
I
And
was a
they
little
got
upset that he didn't. I was upset that he didn't have his ribbon sword.
yeah, he was voiced by Damon Mills though, which was did a pretty good job.
Hmm. I'm just so used to Damon Mills being Frieza, so
Yeah,
I didn't even realize it was him.
I've heard a lot of his other roles, so like I noticed his voice right away. Because whenever I hear his Frieza, I'm like he's just doing a Chris Ayres
Yeah, it's just a Chris Ayres impression.
because he actually has a lot of more range. But
Hmm.
yeah. Other than that, though, like one thing I did find interesting was I was looking at the budget this film had because I find that stuff kind of curious, like every now and then.
Hmm.
Um, this movie actually the 1 second here. Rurouni Kenshin. I lost my Wikipedia page. God damn it. Kyoto Inferno. Okay, so the budget for this film was 30 million, which Wikipedia also points out was shared with The Legend Ends, which is the second part of this. So both movies had a $30 million budget. This
Combined.
combined.
Wow.
This
I just
movie,
want to take this moment to remind everybody that Dragon Ball Evolution had a budget of 55 million. So let's just keep that in mind.
well, internationally, the box office for this movie made 52.7 million. So it made its money back and then some, considering they got two movies out of that 30 million.
Hmm.
Um, so I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's solid. You can't really argue with that. And like movies like that, I mean, obviously Kenshin has its following, but like having a foreign film like that, being able to do well enough in international box office to more than double its money, like that's solid.
True. Was did this one come out before or after the allegations?
I have no idea when that came out.
It came out over here in 2016.
Well, I meant the allegations.
Well, that's what I'm trying to see. Um, I think it was before. Okay.
Okay.
Because I'm just curious because I know everyone knows the allegations, what happened with the author. It's not good. This is a big separating art from the artist thing. Um, I know that has hurt the current anime a lot in terms of like getting noticed because that thing was not advertised at all.
Hmm. It's still going strong though, and from what you posted, it's already been confirmed for season 3, so that's good.
Kenshin has a strong following. I mean, it sucks that the author's kind of a piece of shit, but I mean, it's like it
It's
is a
such a
good
good story.
it is a good story. So you kind of have to. It's one of those moments where you have to pick your battles, and
Hmm. For sure.
but
I just I'm just gonna be really. I'm just gonna give up if they don't fucking animate
I know because I
that
don't
last
want
bit from the manga.
I do not want fucking Reflections to be the only way we're ever gonna get that animated because fuck that movie so much.
Watch them just literally just reanimate that exact OVA as is.
Yeah,
it's just oh, we're just gonna do the same thing just with updated animation.
we're gonna make Karu weirdly out of character and wangsty, and then give herself a disease, give herself syphilis for no reason, um,
Yeah, they both die of the Sif.
and then make their son a fucking emo asshole for no reason, even though he's
Yeah, the
nothing
son
like
has
that.
major Boruto syndrome for no reason.
Especially when you read the sequel manga, and he's nothing like that.
Yeah, it's typical.
But yeah, that fucking that OVA is still don't
Yeah,
like it.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, at least they did it in live action, which I think is fucking wild that they did it in live action before we ever got it animated.
I hate the fact that the '96 anime they had full intention of doing it, but that they because they had to wait for the manga to be written, they made that filler shit, and it was so bad they canceled the show.
Which is, just typical for a lot of 90s animes.
That was the problem with making these animes as like the shows were coming out back then because like they just couldn't keep up.
I mean,
And
it's
that was
kind of
also
still a problem. I think that's why we've shifted into seasonal animes for the
what
most part.
they've adapted to like make up for it. Because like I know like Spy Family season 3 is coming out later this year, and I'm like super hyped for it. But at the same time, I'm like, I know we're waiting because we're waiting for more manga, but it's like I want to see these upcoming arcs animated so badly.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like if they had done it the old school way, we would have gotten a lot of bullshit in the middle. I mean, and like, yeah, there could have been at least with the show like Spy Family, there could be a lot of fun shenanigans that take place because of that.
True.
But
I'm
nothing of
actually
the like. Imagine how long it would take for her to get another Stella if we were just Borutoing it.
I know. I'm actually kind of happy that they've been restrained with Spy Family though, because Spy Family is like just such a well written, tightly animated show.
Hmm.
Um, I can't wait for that damn school bus arc. That was such a good arc in the fucking
Hmm.
manga that I can't wait to see how they handle that in the anime.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. That I'm looking forward to Lloyd's backstory because I'm pretty sure that's going to be in this next season.
I hope so. There's a lot. Also, we get more your shenanigans. We get a whole bunch of stuff.
There's a lot of goofy shit coming up with because there's some class rearrangements like in the
Mhm.
manga right now. Like this like she still has classes with all like the people she's known, but like they get mixed around because it's a new semester. So like they have some classes with different people, and she makes some new friends. I'll say that it's pretty fun.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. There's Kaiju number eight's gonna getting a new season. It's like later in the year.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I think isn't Kaiju number 8 and Dan season 2 both coming out like around the same time?
they are. I'm looking forward to one of those.
Yeah. Well, I'm still gonna watch it. I'm still gonna watch it. Who knows?
I've just never been so indifferent to an anime than I think I was to Don to Don.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it has the following it has. I'm sure there's at least some reason for it. It doesn't make you fall asleep like Bleach does. So, I mean, that's something.
True. It was shorter though.
True.
Um,
True.
it was also just the absurdity. Like the absurdity. I mean, to be fair, I played RuneScape while watching Don to Don for the most part. So,
That's
but
fair.
yeah. So next time we do a live action, we're gonna probably do the next part of Rurouni Kenshin just because we kind of have to follow up on that.
Yeah, we can't have a year and a half gap between this one and the next one.
Yeah. So when we do another live action, look forward to that. But in the meantime, next week, I believe we have one more episode before we get into Toriyama month. I'm not sure what we're
Is
gonna
it?
do yet,
I thought we had two more.
or
We'll have to do the
maybe
math on that.
it might be two. Um,
And we gotta start planning out like what order we're gonna do those in if we're gonna have
oh yeah,
guests.
yeah, it's two. Yep, it's two. So yeah, we got two more episodes, so we'll figure something out. Because unfortunately, we can't do another manga because the next manga in our list is Dragon Ball related, so that'll be in April.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but we'll figure that out from then. But anyways, guys, thanks for joining us on this episode. We talked more about the non-topic than we did our topic once again, but it wouldn't be a GNC product if that's how we handled it. So
Well, I mean, I feel like we pretty much split it evenly between our preamble, Daima, and then the movie. I think it was about
true,
equal for each of them. So
true. I still think Superman was the worst because we spent most of the episode bullshitting and then like
yeah, well,
on the
Alex kind of threw a hiccup into that episode at the beginning. So
I love the fact that she photobombed the thumbnail on the YouTube version. I didn't even have to find it. It just automatically came up. I was like, oh, good.
Perfect. Perfect.
But yeah. Anyways, guys, once again, thank you for joining us on Geek Addicts. You can find Geek Addicts on all the major podcasting platforms, particularly Apple Podcast and Spotify. And be sure to check us out over on the Superpod Network. That is superpodnetwork.com. An awesome site that you can find a whole bunch of different shows, videos, blogs. We're currently doing a series of blogs. It's probably done by the time this comes out, but we were talking about our favorite PlayStation games from back in the day. I did an episode talking about Tiny Tank, and fellow GNC host Thrack had recently put out an episode about Medal of Honor. So be sure to check those out. Yeah, and other than that, though, guys, once again, thank you for joining us, and we will see you all later.
Have a good one.